Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Ox, here on the show this evening is the one and only JM and the Queen of Rangers Radio, Linda. Evening, JM, evening, Linda.
Evening, both. Good to be on, yes.
Evening, Ox, Jerry, evening, JM, and evening to all the listeners. I hope you're all keeping well.
You sound a wee bit different, Linda. Anything happened in your life?
Oh, no, just another year older, but never mind. We won't go there.
All right, we'll leave that alone. You start to take them off no, instead of putting them on.
You told me I can do that.
Really, if I'm being honest. Anyway, many happy returns. Many happy returns.
Thank you.
JM, how are you?
Yeah, no, good, thank you. Good, thank you. Wish I could say it was after that spectacle yesterday, but it wasn't. Just carrying on.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll dissect it, but I've got to say, when the highlights of ball boy being sent off, you're struggling, aren't you?
Yeah, there weren't many. Well, enough talking moments, but not many exciting moments. Can we say we could talk about a lot of it, but not many exciting moments.
Yeah, it's turned into pretty turgid, but I don't know. There's something just not right with the blend. Is that fair, Linda?
Yeah, Ox, I know at this time of the season it is all about getting the 3 points, and I think if we'd maybe picked up maximum points with the Ross County and the Dundee game, we might feel slightly different because, it's still, it is still in our hands, but it would be even more so, Ox. But it's just the level of performance, Ox. It's just, it's way off now. It really is.
Well, we started as normal, JM. The ball goes in about 40 seconds. Tav tries to chest it down and proceeds to give their guy a sitter who fluffed his lines, and we could have been one down in about 50 seconds.
Yeah, a bit of luck that the bloke didn't have a turn of pace. He scored a few goals from the boy, but he's obviously a bit of a lump and puts himself about. I think if that was the centre forward that came on for them in the second half, we might have had a bit more bother. That guy ran out of legs, but the initial touch from Tab weren't too bad, the touchdown, but not only was it the execution, which it was the decision making as well. To me, that just looked live. It was obviously a nice chest down, back to Butland. But for some reason, he plays a blind pass.
It was strange decision, but it's summed up the opening of it. The last 4 or 5 games, Linda, if we're being honest.
Yeah, Ox, and I think we spoke about it with the Hearts Cup semi-final. We don't think we did concede a chance early doors for a change, and we thought that that made a difference. But I don't know, as JM said, initially you're thinking he's done okay, but just clear it or put it back to the goalkeeper. I thought it was poor again from him, but it's the way he's defending just now, isn't it? But could have been one down, yeah.
Be one. So they were closing us down, JM, because when we play with that setup, if you can get one man on top of Lundstrom, you're then taking the 2 centre halves out the game as well, because sometimes we end up with a midfield or young Diamande trying to cover so much ground because Cantwell's standing up front. As I said, it's that straight line right up the middle, and it gives me concerns. So they were closing us down constantly, harrying us. We looked as if we'd no width, and we were huffing and puffing. And then, out of nothing, we had a golden opportunity, JM, when the boy Silver gets played through. Timed his run lovely. But what summed up his cameo with the Rangers since January was he fluffed his lines, he was far too slow, ponderous, and he should have at least got a shot away, JM in London.
Yeah, 100%. It was a nice pick up for Lundstrom, and like you said, the run was spot on. Obviously, they were raging a bit from the offside, and I was waiting for one of them, the old school VAR, for the flag to go up later, and you go, it don't matter, he was offside anyways, but he was clearly onside. And yeah, for a bloke that's been signed for that amount of money, to run through that, and then they get caught up by a bloke who, by the way, had a belter of a game. I'm sure maybe touched it for a few minutes.
Best man in the park,
by a mile, had a belter of a game. But he should, a bit like one we'll go on to later on, he should have had the opportunity to get there and stop it. The fact that the bloke, he took too long as if he didn't know what to do, and he didn't even get a chance to see if it was going in because the bloke was on top of him. No, poor, and maybe if anything would sum up his spell at us, it was probably that.
Linda?
I don't know what to make of him, Ox. I just, the price tag that's been branded about and what he moved for is not his fault. We know that, but we thought we were getting a better quality player, somebody that would. What has he got? 4 goals. But you're right, Ox. In the last wee while here, he's not really showed any quality at all. You would expect him to get to make something out of that. I don't know if it's confidence, whether it's just ability. It's just that, I don't know. Maybe it's just the way that the team are playing it. He's, it's no exclusive to him, Ox, but you would expect a player of his alleged, calibre to do better there.
Listen, I'm not having a go at the boy. It's not his point, not his fault, the price tag. And he is only a relatively young man finding his way in the game with not a lot of experience. But if he was a boy that came out the B team and was getting played and his performances had been so bad, he wouldn't be getting reselected, Linda, than JM.
Yeah, totally agree, Ox. And I think it's got to the point now where he can, there's other players that we have to play ahead of him. You talk about, I know what is his natural position. I don't really know, Silva, but you're now looking at young Ross coming on and maybe doing better, and even just play him out of position on the left. I know that's another discussion, but no, it's no good enough, Ox. It really isn't.
Yeah, maybe it's as simple as confidence. You never know, Jaya.
Yeah, it could be like you say. It's not his fault. He's still relatively young, but it's got to be ability or something. Because you've got to be honest. If you've watched the last, say our last 3 opponents, you could probably pick 4 or 5 of the players in the opposite team that would probably have done you a better turnout on that position, which is quite scary, really, considering the price tag and who we are and we're supposed to be the better team. He's not showing any desire. He's not showing any quality. Sometimes these players come show a lot of quality, but you can tell they can't be asked. It's not that. He jogs it, but I don't know. It's not worked.
No. There's a trend when we bring players in January with big reputations. No comment.
Yeah, let's not let him take it. Let's not let him take a penalty.
Oh no! Don't go there. I raised that from my memory bank.
Me too.
Right, so we huffed and puffed. We had a bit of spell with Lundstrom, had a few efforts. Cantwell had efforts, but we weren't. It wasn't fluid. It was a game that we slowly got on top, and then we get a goal out of nothing. I think it was Tav played the ball in short corner. No, it might have came back. Horner came to take it. It wasn't Tav. I think it went to Cantwell, I think, from memory. I've not looked at it back. Plays a deep cross. The goalie comes, makes a mess of it. And Diamandi comes across, puts it in. And Medessa's waiting to turn it in. The boy sort of comes after the boy, goes in the goal. Yeah, it was an own goal, but I think even Dessers would have struggled to miss that one. So we'll get a goal, a bonus goal, if you like, JM.
Yeah, no, sort of about enough. And like you said, after the first maybe 5 to 10, when obviously we're seen as a bit vulnerable at the moment. And rightly said, they're going to go. I thought Diamandi and Lundstrom started to take control of the game. And we, like you say, we were getting chances. But actually on the goal, I think it pretty much epitomises Diamandi's play. He was the one getting about, and other players may have stopped, but he anticipated, got it across, and then maybe the big defender might have took a chance and just put his foot over it to see what Dessers would have done. Maybe if he realised he was next to him, he might have. Maybe if he realised he was next to him, he might have just went, "Oh well, this might be safe."
I don't even think Dessers.
No, he would have tried, but no, all well and good. Even though it was a goal out of nothing and they made a mistake, I think for Diamand, it's a good goal because he's anticipated, and also you can see them headers just 50p over the bar or something. The header might have even just been sneaking in, so he done well.
Yeah. If it was going in, it was sometimes in the game with Diamand. I don't think a defender could deal it. If you like, it was a goal out of nothing, Linda. I think we wouldn't be happy if our goalkeeper would have been involved with that, would we?
No, but I agree with you about the corner as well. You know, it was a different corner for a change. It was the short corner. Barisic to Cantwell and then back to Borna, and then he puts that deep cross in. It's kind of swerving out, and it asks questions of their defence. And I agree with JM. Diamandi does brilliantly, keeps it alive, and you know, I think the boys got to deal with it on the line, otherwise Dessers, as you say, puts it in. So a wee bit fortunate, but we'll take it, Ox, and we just thought, right, that's good. We're 1 up, so let's go.
Yeah. Did you notice Mr. Dessers giving the defender a nice wee tap on the cheek? I don't know if any's picked that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did see. You see the defender's reaction. He just as if to say, "Oh, would you leave it?" By the way, he almost had the last laugh as well. A few minutes later.
Yeah, he did.
Go on.
He did. You know, I don't know if a lot of people picked it up, but so they've had a couple of efforts at goal, and Jack Butland makes a save just out of this world. I think that's a save you make. Oh, I don't know. I think 1 in 10. I'm being kind, JM.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's a hell of a save. Another one of them. You shouldn't get the chance to say it, but because he's given half a sniff. The fact
1 in 50, is that a goal? 49 times out of 50, is that fair?
And the rest, shouldn't it? Hit hard. The bloke hit it pretty hard. It wasn't a complete miss hit. And like, if you see the replay, he actually done all right. He had to reshape himself, and he made. He was running off. That was how good a contact he made. There was no way he thought when that left his boot that was being stopped. And then not only to get a hand to it, but I don't know if it was deliberate or not, if it was just a pure reaction, but for it to get over the bar and in the safety as well, it's a hell of a save.
Yeah, I actually felt a bit sorry for the midfield yesterday. Even though I've got my problems with the shape, I thought the defending under the ball at times. I think John Suter was getting caught under the ball and we were getting chances up. Play it loosely, we slack play, Linda, and that's something else we have to cut out, yeah.
The centre-back positions have just become a bit of a nightmare for us, Ox, haven't they?
Suter, I've liked and thought he's been reasonably consistent. Yesterday, constantly under the ball.
No, I don't know. He's been like that a few times, Ox. You've spoken about that before, and I don't know. We need to just get through this season, because sometimes Suter does well, but look at the Hearts game as well. There was different errors being made. It wasn't so much getting under the ball last week. He was just lunging in. So I don't know, Ox. It's another area of concern, isn't it?
Yeah. Any thoughts, Jim, before we move on to their goal?
Yeah, I just think it was, isn't it? It was just a bit like sort of his Rangers. He's put a few games together and then there's that. But like Linda said, the Hearts game, he's always got that sort of mistake in him. And then it's as if he don't get the first header out the way, he's then constantly getting caught under it. What I will say is genuinely, one of his best attributes, which he still does right, is some of his forward passing is superb. Yeah. And the way he comes forward with the ball, sometimes it's better than the blokes that are in front of him. But we've been really suffering for a while. We need our centre backs just to be able to defend to start with, I think.
Yeah. And then we see that there's a couple of errors for me in their goal. Right, so just after we scored, they get the ball on their right side. I can't remember, it was a throw in, so they messed about with the ball. Young Silver gets attracted to the guy in possession. See the stick in his man. Borner's got him, he's squaring him up. He goes chasing, the ball gets played in, he gets to cross it without Silver near him. So there's an error for me. Just to stay with your man, and then the cross doesn't happen because Borner's popped it. So the ball goes into the box, and Balogun, he's the wrong side of him. And the guy just swats him away. But the worst thing, Linda, is he's the wrong side of him. It's just, I don't know what he's done. He's maybe tried to come out to just that step too early and get caught. But when you see it, the guy's a header, which he puts right in the corner. And well, some people might think Jack should get it, but the boys put it right in the corner. So, from their point, a decent goal. From your point, Stoke the cross, defender, centre half. If he is going to get it, you need to be on the right side to go up with him. So there's a couple of errors there as well for their goal. Linda?
Yeah, stop the cross coming in. You're right, Ox. As you see, Silva gets out of position. The ball's played back to the guy first times it in. if you watch the replay, it looks as if Balogun has picked him up okay, but you're right, Ox, he takes a kind of step to the right that then allows the guy to get in front of him. And as you see, it's went in off the post. I know that it's not a bulleted header that went in with a lot of pace, Ox, but it was right in the corner. And I don't think Jack's got a chance with that. If it's slightly over towards him, he's maybe getting a hand to it, but I don't think he can save that, Ox. I think because it hits the post and goes in.
Yeah, I think Big Balogun had been watching the Trent video, Giant.
Yeah, but doing something and once you're caught that side, obviously a professional, he's a big lump.
Can't get back, mate.
You can't get back the other side. He's a big man and he's a good finisher. Things that concern me is I watched the half-time bit, is when you're right. If anything summed up a lack of cohesion, not meaning a copy boy, but he's spot on with what he's saying, is when the ball initially went back in that for the cross, not one of the Rangers defenders were running up or pushing up, and there didn't look to be anybody. Even if it is Butland, there don't seem to be anybody shouting to push out. And I don't know if that's just the way we play, or if that's because, again, I don't know how many times that trio's played together. It can't have been many this season, if at all. I wouldn't know before the game. Well, maybe obviously because it was Sterling. But there won't be many times they've played together. So that concerns me a little bit.
Not played many games this season. I'll check it out.
But the point is the fact that we weren't pushing up where a team with confidence and on the front foot, as soon as that ball goes back 10 yards, the back four should be pushing up, leaving that big striker stood still, and that doesn't happen. But the other thing that concerned me before, which we haven't really picked on yet, was how they initially got the ball. I think it was Lundstrom that played a straight pass to Cantwell. Yeah. So not the best pass, but also Cantwell, maybe typically in that first half, just caught on his heels. And Gogic, maybe typical of his performance, came in and picked up the ball. So it could have been, the defence will be pointing the fingers there, but I think we need to defend it better.
Yeah, it was Todd, if I'm being honest, he came into the game for about 15 minutes in the second half, but the first half passed him by pretty much, Linda, as if he's meant to be our most creative player. The boy Godic was pretty much covering two players at times, and he's aggressive, and he just comes in front of you, and he'll know let you play, and it's part of the game, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of folk thought that Gogic was maybe the player of the match, and I know they don't normally give it to somebody in the losing team, but I think he probably was. Jack Butland ran him close, obviously. But we can't well after last week, he did really well, but he wasn't, like that for the full 90 minutes against Hearts, wasn't he? Not he kind of came into the game there, but you were looking for him to get on the ball more and try and make things happen. But I don't know if it's just the way that they're set up, as you say, Ox. It's a difficult one. We're looking for Todd to do more, I think.
I agree. Fair comment, Jim. There was a mistake before the ball went out to the right hand side, yeah.
Yeah, just pretty much, and it just shows when we're as slack as we are, you will eventually get punished. Because, by the way, that's not the only time we make a passing mistake the whole game by any means. But it just shows it weren't like it was pressure or that we should have gave the ball away, and then that's what happened. That's what ended up happening.
So you're frustrated, and we've won in one half because we gave the lead away. But if I'm honest, the piece, one each was a correct result. Wonder.
Yeah, agreed, Ox. If anything, they could maybe have been a wee bit disappointed that they hadn't actually been in ahead when you think about the Butland save. And I know we had a few half chances, but nothing quite as kind of stonewall as that. So one each. Disappointing that we concede 5 minutes after we get what we've said is maybe a bit of fortune, but you've got to see that out or go and get the second goal.
Yeah. I'm just looking. Jim, to see how many games that Balogun and Suter have played together. Yeah. Just if you
that I'm just thinking that combination, because obviously Yilmaz has had a little run as well at the left back where maybe they might have played. I'm thinking the actual four can't have played together a lot.
No, I don't think it's many. It's 5 times he started with John Suter. And then if you throw in the permutation, obviously Butland's been there a lot as well. And he started 5 times with Yilmaz. So that's a combination that's not played a lot of games. But I get your point. But so one each half time, and the second half started, and really we started getting on top without doing a lot, and then they had us pinned back, and we were looking void of ideas, and we lack a lot. We lack a lot because we've not got anybody naturally on the right as width. Silver being non-existent, there's nothing on the left, and that isolates Dessers. Linda?
Yeah, Ox, because he's not even getting any service, isn't he? Not, you need, there's, as you say, we losing Matondo and Sima, we just can't seem to catch a break with these wide players. I'm not saying Matondo was brilliant last week, but he still gives you options and he's got pace. Dessers needs people to get up to support him as well, and as I said there, he's looking for maybe a bit more help and people round about him. That's maybe why we were maybe looking for Cantwell to try and influence the game a bit more. And I know you're probably come on, he did come into the game and had a couple of efforts himself, but no, I mean the manager wants wide players, Ox, and that's us. Unfortunately, doesn't Big Sima doesn't look as if we're going to see him for a while. Hopefully we'll get him back really soon, but with our luck, probably not.
We're huffing and puffing, J.M. Linda's right with a couple of efforts. There's a couple I think maybe Cantwell should have done better. I think the one that came across to him, I think he's got to hit the target, J.M.
Yeah, a complete miss hit. Maybe one of them where he thought he had scored because it was in the middle of the goal. It wasn't far out. And the only thing you don't see live is there's not a massive difference between him and Balogun. I think sometimes the replays in the telly can make the chances look easier because you don't have, unless you're there, you don't know how quick that ball's coming at you, do you? But obviously they're also supposed to be able to react a bit quicker than, say, Uriah as well. But I've given him on that. But I actually thought it was the second chance. He had done some really good work, and that I don't think that should be a hard skill pass that into this corner. He got it completely wrong. Didn't even get his foot around it.
The one he's trying to curl on.
Yeah, I think it's one of them where it's all there for him and he's just got to pass it. He don't have to hit it hard. He had to thing me. It kind of opened up for him. I thought that was easier than the half chance of the ball bouncing because it was all there for a guide.
Well, my problem is if you don't hit the target one day, you'll never score.
No, and that was a good chance. I mean, if you look at Dessers makes a great run, takes the defenders away, and the space opens up for Cantwell. And J.M.'s right, if he's not going to curl the ball, he needs to make sure that he puts it, at least on target. Like you say, Ox, if it's not on target, then that's it, isn't it? The goalie's not even having to make a save. But it just needed a bit more, I don't even know if it's composure or it's just like maybe overthinking things, Ox. I'm not really sure. But again, you would expect a player of Cantwell's ability to at least test the goalie with that.
Aye, I agree. He's got to work the goalie, and that's us being kind, yeah?
Yeah.
Would you agree, J.M.?
Yeah, 100%. Because how quick they are, at least one of them to maybe not have us nagging as much. At least one of them, and then you're maybe not thinking the other one was harder than the other. But the fact that the space of 5 minutes, you had two very good, half to 3/4 chances, if you like, and not hit the target for attacking players, very disappointing.
Aye. So I don't know about you. I was starting to think, this could peter out one each, and then all of a sudden, Tavernier goes down the right, puts a cross in. Dessers is close with the boy, no foul, my opinion. He then takes out the goalie, and Dessers puts it in the net. Would that be fair? Giant.
Yeah, great play. And by the way, before it, obviously, I think, because I thought he was good the whole game, Diamande as well, pulling the strings, telling Cantwell to move in and get out of the way. It was a deliberate pass out of Tav, and then to be there, a very, very good cross. And I think maybe you might have seen there what maybe VAR's done to what you'd like to call old school centre backs, because I think he feels a bit of a hand. I think he's about to get a shove and he's already committed. And
it looks like Keystone Cox when the goalie falls out of one, doesn't
it? I thought they were looking to try and give a foul on
I thought
Dijon. with Dijon as well. Dijon was in the middle, and I thought that they trying to look to see if he's actually fouled the defender.
Aye.
But he
What's
never touched
What's the
him.
game went to when centre halves are looking for fouls when somebody scores instead of trying to keep it in the box?
When it was there, I genuinely, by the way, and I had the fear for about 10, until I saw the first replay, and I went, not even they can give that, because he had there was a handout, and that was it. It was that was
Listen,
it. And I think
when you see the free kick they gave later on, they can get anything.
Yeah, true. I must admit, for a few seconds, because of the way the guy went over, I thought, oh, don't make him go and look at it. But there was no way in on earth was there a foul there. And fair play to Dessers, because we've definitely seen him pissed.
Yeah, Dessers scores again. He's got numbers. But so after that, we should have scored again. I mean, how does the Tom Lawrence man not end up in the back of the net? Just so we can relax for a few minutes, Linda, and maybe even get a fourth one that could help us, because that would have sucked the energy out of them. How does that not end up in the net? You've got that miss, you've got Silver's miss, These are sitters.
Yeah, you're spot on, Ox. And you've got. I know it's all about winning the game as well, the 3 points, but the goals could matter. It's you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself, but that should be. And yeah, we've kept them out with Butland's good saves, but that could be, as you say, 3 or 4-1. I don't. If you look at Dessers does really well. I thought Dessers had a reasonably good game. He plays a really cracking ball to Lawrence, and actually Lawrence showed a wee turn of pace. And you're just thinking, when he pulls it back on his right side, if he just takes a wee look up, he'll see where Gogic is, and he just needs to put it in the other side. I thought that was poor. I know everybody's going on about his clearance off the line, but I just think you've got to score that.
Graham?
I think Linda's spot on. If you're aware of being that, especially Lawrence, who we'd like to think is a clever player, you shouldn't give him the chance. Again, you shouldn't have the chance. The blokes, the running. Talking about him more than a Rangers player, I think that sums up. But the run he done at the end of the game, considering the game was pretty much done to get back there, all Lawrence has to do is stand on it for half a second more, and he'll probably run through the net, the bloke, and he can put it where he likes. Maybe again, just a hit and a panic from somebody that's not produced the numbers they want to or played, and maybe thinking they've got an easy goal. But yeah, it should have been another, shouldn't it?
And then I think it was just after that, or was it just before? I can't remember exactly. There's another bizarre decision. So the boys played through. Big Jack comes through and clears it. The boy runs into Jack Butland. I think he actually falls, slides a wee bit, catches Jack, who's running out, does nothing wrong. Play goes on for a wee minute. The boy goes down injured, and then we go back. We give a free kick, which I didn't see given initially, and might not have picked up right. Never a foul, never a yellow card, and you're thinking, this is just going to be a goal. Who thought that? Linda?
Yeah, I thought it was going to be a goal. I thought he's going to that's going in with the free kick. It's an absolutely ludicrous decision. If you look at it, there was wee slow-mos on social media today doing the rounds. I don't know if anybody's seen them, but in slow motion, Jack clears the ball and he's near enough 3 yards away from the St Mirren player. It's not even as if it's a coming together at the time he kicks the ball, Ox. He's cleared it. He's cleared it, and as you say, the St Mirren player runs into him. It's unbelievable. I think the St Mirren manager might have been asked about it as well, Ox, and he said it wasn't a yellow card.
I think he said he wasn't even a foul.
Aye, absolutely. I don't know, Ox, if anybody else, but I wonder if it might have been the linesman that had, signalled to the ref that it might have been a foul. I don't know, but it was a terrible decision.
JM?
Oh, it was a shocker, wasn't it? I don't know how you can kick the ball first and not, like Linda says, not follow through and be close, because obviously we know now sometimes if you win the ball and you follow through high, you take him. But Butland had to jump like that to kick the ball, and the guy kind of goes into his rib cage, the side of him, because of where he was, and he was a bit later. And I agree with Linda. I think if you watch it live, the ref don't give anything and turns around. I think he's been told to turn around and have a look by his linesman. But maybe turn around and say the boy's hurt. You might have to get someone on how you come to the conclusion of a free kick. And also a yellow card when you've beaten the boy to the ball, like Linda said, by about 2 or 3 yards. It's ridiculous.
Couldn't agree more. Right, so again, I suppose we've highlighted it. There's maybe more incident in the game than I remember, but it wasn't the greatest game of football, and it's typical what we're watching in Scotland at the moment, if we're honest, Linda. But we've got some responsibility for that as well, because we look a bit void of confidence, but hoping 2 wins in a row, I'll start building up the confidence. JM, then Linda.
Yeah, I'd barely say we're adding to the quality of the Scottish game at the moment ourselves, would we? But no, I agree. It's just typical game we're not, and just hoping getting a couple of games on the bounce, and if they can get pumped, 4 more wins, 5 more wins, four in total. Just win every other game, get pumped and see where we are. They've got to get built up for this. Surely that's got to help kick them on.
Yeah, Linda.
Yeah, Ox, I agree with IM. It's just all about getting the wins. And at this time of the season, sometimes the quality of the football isn't as good as what it is earlier in the season. It's just, I think, from the couple of the results, as I said at the beginning of the show, I think the Ross County, the Dundee game, it's the mood those games have put us in, Ox, I think. Because we're looking now for perhaps other teams to do us a favour when it was in our own hands, and it could still be in our own hands, I accept that. But if you look across Scottish football, and even some of the games down south, when it's getting to this time of the season, Ox, it's maybe not about the quality, isn't it? Not, it's about getting the victories. So as JM says, hopefully, we can just continue in that vein and see where it takes us.
Yes. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to hear from the manager, and then we'll get the phone lines open. Yeah?
Yep.
Let's hear from your gaffer. Philip, come on.
Philippe, what did you make of your team's performance today?
That they did what they have to do, and that's winning games. That's the first thing. Was it our most sexy game? No. But it's also the circumstances. All respect towards St. Mirren also. Their aggressivity, their power in the duels. They want these duels every time. Pitch is also smaller, so that creates also more duels. And we had to dig in. We knew that from before, but the team did, and get the result. So I don't think if you don't lead with 0-2 or 0-3 that one team will have an easy game here. That's because of the quality and the mentality of St. Mirren, of the players, of their manager. So it's about taking the 3 points, and with a very good second goal also.
Is that what you're telling your players? Obviously, you've been through plenty of title runnings over in Belgium. Is that all that matters now in these final 4, 5, 6 games? Just winning, just getting 3 points?
No, that stays the major thing, but of course you need quality for that. It's not just coming on the pitch and now we're going to win and we just do something. It doesn't happen that way. To do the right things, we did in moment right things. We didn't do the right things in the beginning of the game. Because of that, we get their pressure and they get belief and hope. After these first 15 minutes, then we took control of the game and we were much better. Then you're leading, then you get a goal against that we need to avoid. So they get belief again. And the second half, we were better, creating more, but Jack has been also really important in the first half. So at the end, it's important to take the 3 points, to go home, and to know that you have 4 finals to go in the league, and it will be game by game, going full to get the 3 points. Also happy with, again, how the players came in, players who are not starting, to give the energy to the team and to make the difference. And I think Tom Lawrence was really unlucky with an amazing comeback of Gogic, and all the respect towards him also, how much he kept believing to save this ball on the goal line. So if you score there the third goal, you have a different end of the game. Now there stays some excitement, because every long ball there's a duel and a fight for second ball, and again. But I think you guys love that there's a lot of excitement until the end. So in that way, Gogic helped you guys.
Is it just any means necessary at this stage now, Phil?
What do you mean?
In terms of still banking points, it's just it doesn't matter how you're getting over the line or how you're getting them, it's simply about winning.
Of course, and it's all season like that. Football is about the results at the end. Nobody remembers that we won 4-0 against Hibs in October with really good football, or other games. At the end, it's about the points. But we had a lot of good games like that. But you need in a season also games that you win on resilience, on mentality, on digging in together, on fighting. Because there's not one team in the world who only win games in a very beautiful way, what the team did already several times. For sure not teams who win trophies. So you need both. And they showed the right mentality today. And now it's getting good recovery and working towards next weekend to go full for the 3 points again.
20 goals for Sergio Dessers. What can you say about his contribution to this team so far?
That it's not only the goals, it's also his work that he's doing without ball. Also his work as high support. So he's working really hard for the team. He's giving everything. He changed the situation himself in a really good way. If I hear what the fans are singing now or 6 months ago, there are different songs, I think. But he deserves, because he's been working really hard to help the team. Not only thinking about himself, but to help the team. And then the moments come and the situations come to be decisive in that position. And it was again a really good finish today and a really good cross of Tev also.
Mohamed Diamande is someone who's become a really important player for you quite quickly. Played that pass in the lead up to the winning goal. How important is he become for you in such a short space of time?
Yeah, Dio made an incredible fast integration, but all three did. Oscar also, Fabio also, and that's thanks to the dressing room, who's been amazing for them also to let them feel welcome from the first minute. You saw also from the first minute that they felt really good in this club. And Dio is somebody with a lot of potential, a lot of technical qualities, but also the right mentality. So, like I said from the beginning, it's somebody who will only grow in the future, and every game he takes lesson and he becomes better.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Yeah, Big Phil, I'm not giving you that one. Tom Lawrence should have scored. I don't care what you say.
Agreed.
JM.
Yeah. Sometimes you can put too much of a positive spin on things, can't you? Should have been a goal.
Yeah, he should have scored. Only my opinion, but I think we all agree here.
Yeah.
Right, okay, so man of the match for you yesterday? He's thinking.
Who you want to go first?
Giant.
I'll go because I think I know who. I'm going to go Diamande.
Diamande, London.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jack Butland.
There we go. I knew I'd be
Surprise,
different. It was a very close. I must admit, it saves.
I asked you that 6 months ago and he never even touched the ball and you gave him man of the match.
That's because his shirt was lovely and white, clean.
Yeah.
Dessers, I thought Dessers did well too, Ox, and I know he's much criticised, and there's been times where we've had to be critical of him because of some of the chances, but 20 goals and the last 2 games he's got us into the...
No penalties, Linda. No penalties.
No penalties, I know. Got us into the final of the Scottish Cup, and he's won us, another 3 points, and I know we were wanting him to step up and get really important goals for us. There's been chances that he's missed that could have made a difference, but we've got to give him credit where credit's due, and I thought he did well.
I think we've seen what kind of player he is. There was a one, I think, when he played the 1-2 with Sterling, and you've seen that he's not that kind of player, and then you see him in the box, he scored 20 goals, So he's missed quite a few as well, but he's got there. He's an enigma. Anyway, we've been joined by Smurf. Evening, Smurf.
Evening, Ox. Evening, everybody.
How are we doing?
No bad. I was watching that yesterday, and obviously the quality is just woeful, isn't it? And just your earlier question, I think Butland was man of the match, kept us in it in the first half. But going forward for here, irrespective, how the season plans out, with the first team squad, your first 11, if everybody was fit, how many of them do you think we can go forward with next season, realistically?
That's some question. I'll go first. I'll say we'll start with Butland, and then I'll pass it to the rest of them. Giant.
Yeah, that's a smart one. Realistic, out of 11, it's opinions if it's your first 11. Obviously, we've got a few loans out there.
Yeah, excluding the loans, because they're not our players.
No, they're not our players. If you're thinking about it, really, if you're going forward, who I'd be comfortable with, I think Butland, Diamande, Cantwell. I'd be maybe not start, but I don't, 20 goals. This is definitely in the squad, 100%. And then you're struggling, aren't you? Matondo in the squad, maybe as well. Trying to be able to miss out anybody, absolutely, seemingly obvious. But like you say, Smith, if you're saying happy, absolutely happy, there's not many.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking. You mentioned 2 in the squad, but I mean, the first 3 that you mentioned, I would agree with, and I would Cantwell, Diamande, and Butland, and I would throw Ridvan and Sterling in there.
Fair, yeah.
But in all honesty, we've got 2 fullbacks, a goalkeeper, Diamande and Cantwell, and beyond that, I wouldn't care who left.
No, and some of them are going to leave naturally, but I would say, and some of them might move on because they want to. But listen, we've got to get there first, and obviously, what somebody does in the next 5 weeks could maybe influence people's thinkings, Linda. But I get Smurf's point. But there's going to be a lot of changes naturally with the people who's going to leave, whose contracts are up, Linda.
Yeah. I'd be struggling to add anybody else on to what the guys have said there, Ox.
Oh, wait a minute. You're not being fair yesterday. He came on yesterday and it was one of the highlights of the game. He came on the right-hand side of the park, went down the park, fell over, got hurt, and I don't think he touched the ball. You've got to keep him.
But he still looked beautiful.
His hair was still nice.
Genuinely, I don't think Scott touched the ball. I don't know if he did. I might be wrong with that, but I don't think he did. There's a lot of work to be done, and it's no Big Phil's issue at the moment because he's not been able to influence it. It's going to be interesting, Smurfy.
Aye, and the interesting one for me is what do we do with Sam Lammers? Does he come back in and play through the middle as a central striker? Is it time to move him on anyway? I don't know. And it's the money and it's financial fair play. How are we going to fund it? I tell you, it's a conundrum.
Lammers one's pretty simple for me. If you think he's going to bring value to your squad, the boy wants to play for us, you might give him another chance. If he wants to move on, I'm a great believer that somebody wants to move. You get the best deal for the club and you move on.
I think it's positive might be the wrong word, but you've got a bloke that's scoring goals. So if he wants to play with you and he comes to it, if not, he's been scoring goals. This team might want to spend your money and you might not lose much money on him and use it somewhere else. When he went on loan in the new year, I would have said, well, there's your money gone on the bloke, because he wasn't very good with us at all, was he? But he's gone there and scored some goals. So there might not be as much. The worst case scenario, we might not lose as much money as we thought we were going to on him, and we might be able to shift him a bit quicker as well.
Did we
ever see him? More than we paid.
The amount of goals could have been.
Yeah. Did we ever see him at centre forward? I don't think we did one, did we?
I don't remember, Ox. No, I don't remember seeing him at centre forward. I mean, sometimes
one game.
Sometimes, Ox, he found himself in positions that you would expect a centre forward to be in when he's through maybe 1-on-1 with the goalie, or he's on the 6-yard box and he misses. I think with Lammers, who knows, maybe Clement's already made up his mind that he would like to shift him on if the club could recoup near enough, know what we paid for him, or it might be a case of there's no offers, he needs to come back anyway, Ox, and we'll just see what happens. But I don't know, with Sam Lammers, for his own, he seems to do better when he's playing in that league. I think that's when he's had his joy, in his career. So there's not as much pressure either, Ox, isn't there not?
No, it doesn't seem to be. But that'll be a conundrum. And listen, if the manager wants him, he can obviously bring him back, Smurf. If the manager doesn't want him, the player wants to move on, and we can get as much money as possible, you just shake hands and move on. And if it goes on to be a success, you might have got something right. Yeah, you just move on, ain't you?
I mean, that Dutch league might be a higher level than ours, or certainly a higher volume of sort of more quality teams, but he's playing with Utrecht. He's no playing with the pressure week in, week out that he'd be having at Ibrox. And so it doesn't matter how well you're playing, it's all the other add-ons, the pressure, the scrutiny, the goldfish bowl, it's all that factors in. If you can't handle it, there's no business being at our club, really, So, no, but other than the sort of maybe half dozen players we mentioned, I think we need to take a bass broom anyway. Just hope we can finance the close season's sort of transfer.
You're not going to sign 20 players, are you?
No, you're not.
No,
you're not. And some of these young boys as well, we need to get them out on loan. They're not developing. Either move them on or get them out on loan. They need game time,
That's a whole show on its own, what's happening with our youth setup. JM,
Wouldn't know when to start, and when you see them doing not the end of year awards last night, and doing awards like play for the youth player, they hardly played a game. And when they have who they're playing with, do you know what I mean? They're not playing football, are they? Not only they're not playing football, they don't look like they're in the gym either. Yeah, you're right. That could be a whole other conversation, maybe a special on what we think that can go wrong. There's a few things I think are going wrong there.
Yeah, maybe they need to be coached properly. Maybe they need to get the hunger back. Maybe they need to get a desire back and realise they've not made it. But that's a whole show on its own, Linda, isn't it?
Yeah, I just think Ox, they need to be playing football when some of the young guys don't seem to. They're not even playing for the B team, but they're in the match day squads and things like that for the first team. These guys need to be playing football. There's, as you say, that's a whole separate discussion.
Talking about whole
I don't even know what league the B team plays in.
They don't.
I mean, there's no reserve league. I don't know.
They don't, Smurf.
But no, we pulled out, didn't we? That's right. I was thinking that. Yeah. So how are you going to develop? Surely if you scratch the season's fixtures, as it were, then the only option you've got is to get the most promising of that crop out on loan. Surely.
Well, there's a few of it on loan, but they're a bit older, and then you've got, maybe if you spread it, JM, you're maybe talking about a 4-year age spread. They're not all ready to go on loan, and then you've got other ones that are ready to move on with different contracts. It's a bit of a muddle and a bit of a mess.
Yeah, and there's going to be play. And by the way, it's hard to get started in that. And when do you take the chance? Because like we said before, the pressure in the goalfish. Normally, youth players are either forced upon or they've got to be a star. Like McCausland, then got an opportunity due to injuries and a really poor squad. For example, I don't know, the boy Lewis Mayo. He's doing absolutely fine at Kilmarnock, isn't he? He's having a hell of a season. He's no worse than some of the people we've had defend for us the last few years. He never got a chance. It's an example, different things, but it shows you. But this is why you say better coaches, better people judging it, and knowing when to give them the opportunity to see. Because I'm sure there's a few of them that would have been able to cut
it. Maybe I'm old-fashioned, Linda. If you were a joiner, you'd be judged on how well you can sow your wind. If you're not playing any games, I don't know how good they are.
Yeah, and I know there's some of them are training with the first team, but Ox, that doesn't give you really a true indication of how they can obviously handle like playing in the actual team. It's definitely something that will need to be looked at, because, as you said, they've pulled out of that league, and then I think they actually were playing some of the what they called it, is it the best or something?
The best of best, yeah.
The best of the best, and I think that's maybe obviously finished now, and there was some good games, for them in that. They travelled down south a few times as well, but I don't think I don't think you can be playing competitively in a competition, even if it is that league. But Rangers didn't think it was the best for them to play in, so I don't know. There'll need to be other options.
You've got three sides of their development, Smurf, haven't you? Let's be honest. You've got the ability side of it, where you like to think you can work on it, training, and you can look at things and you can practice and drills and all the ability side of things. Know the natural ability, maybe your weaknesses, etc. You've got the physicality, which you've looked at guys now, and I know you can't make a 5'6" guy 6'2", but you can be built and ready to play professional football. The game's changed, and then you've got the mental side of the game, which you have to be tough at a club like us, because you're expected to win all the time at every level as soon as you pull that strip on. And if you're not playing games, how are they getting the mental stage to move on to the next level? It's just not happening.
No, and it was interesting because I was listening to a show maybe about a week ago, and they were talking about the development side up. The guy that's heading it up, he's moving on, and saying, who's come through, what they've been judged on, and so I sort of did a wee bit of research in that, and apparently in the last 10 years, the sort of youth development side, the reserve side, that setup has brought in sort of fees for transfers, etc. I couldn't believe this, and I can't think of anybody that's went for any substantial money, but it's all add-ons, etc. 22 million.
Patterson's 12 or that, isn't he?
Aye, Patterson's 12 million right away, aye. But it's 22 million apparently they've brought in.
Billy Gilmore brought us in, what, 1.5 the time it was finished? I don't know if that's right. Giant, that's half the tip in my head.
I think it's more. I think it's more than that now.
Right, so then
aye. So there's obviously some sort of business model there. I mean, it's not in par with what you've got down south, but then again, what is? They've got the best youth players in the world.
That £2 million a year, Linda, the time you take the coaches, the cost of running it, the players' wages, there might not even be any profit there. 10 year, 20 million. I don't know if there's any profit there.
You might get the one or two, as you say, you mentioned Nathan Patterson there, but I don't think this is obviously exclusive to us, Ox, isn't it not? In Scotland as well, if we've got a really, really good youth player, sometimes what happens is the clubs from down south will come in and offer them, really sort of silly money to go down there. And obviously they're not, that can be a real difference maker for them. If you've got a real top youth guy, and I think we've lost a couple in the past. They've went down. There was the boy that went to Villa, wasn't there? So I don't know. I think it's there's something not quite right about it, Ox. And as I said, we're not the only club that are suffering, I think.
No, the cross-border thing, but also there's only really, obviously McCausland comes in and played a few games. Patterson came in, and I think he all played less games than McCausland knew GM.
Yeah, I think it's important to highlight that McCausland's not a graduate, is he?
No, he came about 16.
I know he's a young lad, obviously, but he's he's like the equivalent of Billy Gilmore. Yeah. So, if you're looking at maybe like players we're producing, that's another one that's not technically, is it? I know we've signed, that's the scouting network, but that's not, some of these kids are with us from 8 years old and never playing. But getting football and I know you can't always pick stars from 8 years old, but that's the fact of the matter. That's what it's there for, isn't it? To try and get some money. But all that seems to happen is their contract just runs out at 19, 20 years of age, and then you see them popping up for one of the SPL sides a year later, and you don't even know their name half the time.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, there just needs to be a root and branch review. Scottish football. I'd love to see 2 leagues of 20, and I'd like to see 2 teams who aren't allowed to promote to the the Premiership. You know, because that would you'd be playing Championship football, Scottish Championship football, and they would be playing men's football, and they would develop, and also the Blue Pounds. You know, fans are going to go and watch Rangers B playing in a championship, and it's going to monetize that league to a certain degree as well. And it's just the whole thing's a shambles, isn't it? I mean, nationally the game's just a shambles.
Aye, well, the league setup doesn't help. I mean, that's the third time we played St Mirren away. That's the third time we played St Mirren away from home this season. Yeah, in the league.
And even and you know, I'm not a fan of the split, but if you're going to have a split, have 3 leagues of 14 then, and that way you're splitting it 26 games, and then you've got another 12 games, and it's home and away, and then it's all equal then, isn't it? It's you're not going away to St Mirren 3 times. It's an equal amount of games. There's just no thought behind it. I don't know.
No, I don't know. It's a conundrum, but again, we've debated it a lot. And you're right, Smurf. It's a mess, and I don't know how we fix it imminently, because I don't see a clamour to fix it, Linda.
No, there doesn't seem to be any urgency at all. And I mean, even just as you said, Ox, the organisations that run Scottish football, Rangers have asked for a review into that, and they, you know, got very little support. But I know some clubs have started to sort of voice their concerns. So Rangers fighting a losing battle sometimes in that regard. But I don't know how do we force that through a total review of everything. I don't know how long that would take, Smurf. A few years probably.
But it's going to be, because ultimately the guy that's presiding over a shambles who needs to be sacked, you know, you've got to give him 2 years' notice because he wrote his own contract. I mean, it's just a shambles, isn't it?
We've got the same on here with Bridgeman. He's getting 5 years' notice. He did write his own contract, but he deserves it. Smurf, player of the season for your top 3 in reverse order, if you don't mind me asking, mate.
Reverse order, I would controversial. Number 3, I'd put a wee boy McCausland. He's come in under extremely difficult circumstances. I don't think he's ever going to go and become a Rangers legend. It might be a squad player going forward. But he's come in at a tumultuous period of the season after a terrible start, plagued with injuries, and the wee boy's played his part. So for that alone, I would give him the 3rd spot. And the 2nd spot I would give to Sterling. He's performed everywhere and anywhere to a good level, wherever and whenever he's been asked. And obviously, number 1, I would put Jack Butland. That'd be my 3.
Yeah. I think there's a theme here, Linda.
Yep. I would go Sterling in 3rd place, Seema 2nd, and Butland 1st.
I thought you were going to give Jack all 3. I thought you were going to give 6 points to Jack Butland. Yeah. Who was your 2nd place?
Seema.
Yeah. Seema. And then Sterling 3rd.
Yeah.
Right, we'll come back and we'll talk about Sterling after we have a tune. And JM, I'll get yours after we have a tune, yeah?
Yep, no bother. Gives me more time.
Yeah, I know you're not the brightest. Right, get yourself in mute, because we're going to have a tune.
There's no one
why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Before everybody criticised, that's one of Fox's all-time favourites. That's how he played it. What a classic tune that was, Jay Emma.
Jesus, yes. It's something like that, yeah.
You be having a field day with that one, Linda?
I don't recognise it. Allegedly.
Oh dear. Mr. Fox has just posted in the chat why he played it. You might find it interesting. Anyway, Jay, yes, mate.
Sorry. Have you ever familiar with that Smith song, Hang the DJ?
I know why. Well, why? I get it, mate. Aye. I wasn't the greatest fan of the Smiths. Some of them were already, but I wasn't the greatest fan. Right, where are we? Jay, your top three.
I'm gonna go Sterling, Dessers, Butland.
Sterling. Yep. Big Dessers, CD9. Everybody, to a man and lady, is Jack Butland. I think he's been the most consistent player distance, but that seems to be a trend. Right, by the way, again, very remiss, Linda, very remiss. No congratulating Rangers ladies for getting to a final. A great victory and a deserved victory against that lot, yeah?
Yeah, definitely Ox, by far the better team. And sometimes in those games, I think Rangers have been, the best team, and then they run up the park and nick a goal, and two fantastic goals and great celebrations. And I know they've slipped up in the league and they were in a really commanding position, but they've got to play them, I think, next Monday. And if they can win that, they'll get back in control of that league, because if they could win a treble, it would be, amazing for them. But fantastic.
They shouldn't fear anybody now, Jay. They should just go and win every game, eh?
No, 100%, and maybe we should look at who their set-piece coach was. There could be a promotion. Scoring from a corner.
Yeah. The in-swinging corners were back at the weekend, but one thing that still frustrates me, how long does it take us to take a corner kick? As one guy trots out the other side of the park, yeah? Is it only me who notices that, or have you picked up on it, Linda?
Yeah, Alex, I don't know. It's one of these questions you'd love to ask the manager. I know we talked about that a couple of shows ago. What would you like to ask the manager? There's so many things, but it drives everybody, Maddox. Everybody talks about it. I don't know. I think he said that they've not got a set piece coach because he likes to do that himself. So I think you'll need to be having a word with yourself.
Aye, it's not the first time I've had to do that. Smurf, we're now really getting in the business end of the season. We're looking for some it's results first and foremost, but we would like a decent performance, because if you put in a decent performance, you'll blow these teams away.
I think that's it in a nutshell. There seems to be a lack of confidence within the team, and I think that manifests itself with a lack of intensity. So when you're taking corner kicks, etc., they're overcautious. They're trying to be pinpoint. They're trying to get organised and set up, whatever. There's no intensity. There's no urgency, and therefore you have no fluidity. And I think it all stems from a lack of confidence. You're the wrong end of the season to suffer a crisis of confidence. And so these two games that we've won, if we can, win a third one in a bounce, going to that place, then, you know, hopefully their confidence will pick up in the occasion, and what's at stake, we'll see defeat them for the first time this season. But no, you're 100% right. It's we need a performance. The fans need something. They owe the fans a performance. I'll put it like that.
All right. Listen, come and join us. 0141 356 1972. Listen, we earlier on in the show we critiqued the performance yesterday. We're still right behind the team, JM. There's a lot to play for here.
Oh, 100%. And by the way, if there wasn't so much to play for, you'd think this is negative. But no, you've got to call what's in front of you. You've got to call the match as you see it. We've not been playing to our best. We've seen us at our best, and we're nowhere near it at the moment. I think there's even if we saw a controlled performance, it doesn't always have to be free flowing, and 100-mile-an-hour football and constantly on the front foot. But we don't even look in control of the games, which is worrying me. Even till the end there, you're just waiting for the equalising goal to come in, aren't you? You just think if a set piece comes in or they play a long ball. The lack of control is concerning me more than, if you like, the exciting football.
London, I just want us to play with the intensity and the appetite that we did in the Benfica game away in the second half against that mob at Ibrox, and you'll blow these teams away.
Yeah. I mean, see this whole lack of confidence and what's brought this on, you know, this play. I mean, when you think about after the winter break, we went 10 games, Ox, where we won them all. And we had some really good performances in amongst that. If you think about the 5-0 Hearts, the game at home, we went away to Killie and we won 2-1 that game where we went behind. I always go back to, and it might be more than this, the Motherwell game at home when we lost 2-1 Ox, and it kind of came out the blue a wee bit, that. And I've been feeling since then, I think the standard of the play's gone down, and I don't know what triggered it, you know, because yes, we've had injuries, but even in the 10 games that I mentioned there, Ox, there was a lot of players missing at times, but we got through the games and we were actually playing quite well. So I don't know what the problem is. If it's confidence, what is it that's actually caused that?
Oh. Is it just too simplistic to say it's confidence, Smurf?
Sorry, I missed that. Too simplistic to say?
It's just confidence. Is it that simple?
Oh, I don't think it is. I think there is a crisis of confidence. I mean, the boy Sterling doesn't lack it, and he doesn't lack intensity and effort. But I don't know if it's a mentality thing. Maybe there's players that have been there too long, that have been so near yet so far, and then they're doing well, and you get to the business end of the season, and it's a character thing. We maybe a couple of individuals in the leadership group. It could be that 2 or 3 individuals there, or maybe it's you know, a long arduous season with too few players carrying the team. It's taking its toll. Maybe there's guys playing with injuries and they're suboptimal. I don't know, but there's certainly a crisis of confidence. That's what I think, anyway.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how it pans out, and we're going to end up going 1-3 games in a row, and at home at the weekend, JM. And when you start winning 2 or 3 games, your confidence, if it is that simple, it's just confidence, you start rising.
Yeah, you think so, winning games and that. But again, it's the manner you win games. So you know, clean sheet against Hearts, played okay. Can't pretend Sunday was very comfortable. It wasn't. Don't know if maybe we've just got our blue tinted specs on. Any other team, would we be just calling it a new manager bounce? And certain players are just getting found out again. Now the bounce is gone.
Yeah, I mean, I know in that as well. I mean, I don't know. You know, I feel sorry for the manager because he's trying his best to wring everything out of a squad. He's brought Kieran Dowell in, and he's dropped him again, and I mean, what can you do? You know, you're going against medical advice with maybe some people or some players are concerned. I don't know. I think if you've got, you know, if you started that game yesterday with Sima and Matondo on their respective wings, you know, I certainly think that would have made a difference. So it's difficult. I wouldn't be critical of Clement, that's for sure. And
he'll not be judged in this, but it'll make the pressure mount when he brings in his own players, and that's the problem he's got. You mentioned Sterling, Smurf, yeah? You mentioned Sterling, and I watched him yesterday, and nothing phases him. He's a big, powerful boy. He didn't have his best game for us yesterday. I don't think that even on the right side. I think, and I watched it yesterday, and nothing's changed my mind. Even right back going forward, that I think he's a guy that's going to be in the middle, and he's going to be your defensive midfielder. That's what I think his position is. Whether that was his position before we signed him, I don't know.
I'll be honest with you. I think, you know, we've got you know, our fullback areas covered with our first choice fullbacks, and we've got our first choice wingers playing. I'd be dropping Lundstrom for him.
Yeah, but
and I know
don't
that's
think
the
that's what happened between. Don't think that's what happened in 5 games. But I think there's a ready-made replacement there who could develop. How good he's going to be, that's all I'm seeing at the moment. Linda, any thoughts?
No, I would agree, Ox. I just I know we've not seen him at right back at all. And that's where he was brought in. We were told he was a right back, but I would agree from what I've seen that he seems to be a defensive midfielder would maybe where we would see the best of him, particularly in our league and even in Europe as well.
Aye, listen, there's something about to touch on. There's a caller joined us, and I think it'll be all right. Jim, I've got a story to tell you. I'm no one for spreading rumours, as you well know, yeah?
Yep, go on, yep.
Right, so the Southside Super 6, the one that was played live, was a second take, and he changed his bet because he wanted to make sure all the games started at 3 o'clock, so he didn't want to go with an early kick-off, just in case his cooking was done before 3 o'clock. And it transpired that selection, all 6 started. It's there, Mr. Fox had it as a recorded version, he changed it. And then he's learned a big, big lesson, Mr. Southside, the one and only. He then had a bet on, got that up, and then had another bet on, and decided to cash out and took money off the bookie when his bet failed. That man has came such a long way in such a short space of time, even in Southside.
That was an introduction, was it though? Aye, I've been listening to Albert, so I'll give him credit for that one. I know it was shocking. You did explain it right. I was doing Peterborough were playing at 12:30, and I decided I wasn't sticking that one on. But I kept the bet on, and I says to Fox, I'm not changing it. I'll just leave that bet on. I put an extra team in, and that line started. So if I'd actually just kept the original Super 6, it would have come in for everybody that put it on, and not just me. And the other one get beat. The other one get beat. I get 5 out of 6 on the other one. So technically 11 out of 12.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. But he was getting feedback. I thought some of the commentary on Saturday was superb.
No, I've not been in the mood for a while, mate. So I'll just switch you off, actually. I think a few have put you on to block and mute.
That's not unusual, Southside.
No, that's entertaining. I'll give you that. It is entertaining when I can be bothered reading it.
Yeah. Anyway, but enough about you, mate. I just had to get that in.
I know. No, well, I'm still grumpy. And I think, honestly, yesterday, I mean, that team yesterday, we can't get out worked with teams anymore. As Ross County, Dundee, and now St Mirren have worked harder than us. They've actually pressed better than what we press. And yesterday, I'm looking at that team, and I know Dessers had one of the games where he was pretty hopeless again. No, he's touching or
he was also.
Aye, but there's no urgency. It was back to the horseshoe passing. No players taking safe options. So it wasn't for their goalkeeper Ox making 2 blunders. We probably wouldn't have won that game. I mean, everybody around about us in that stand was like, this team isn't even at it today. We're going for a league championship and they're out there strolling about. We should be flying into tackles. We should have urgency. We should have pace in the team. They played one way, knock the high ball up and try and win second balls. Then when we had the ball, we played safe passes. Apart from Diamondi, one great pass down the line to Tav, and again their goalkeeper makes a mess of it and Dessler scores. You know, it wasn't good enough yesterday, Ox. It was really poor effort and application, I thought.
I don't disagree, and you see it particularly in the first few minutes outside, the way they closed us down and we look at each other as if, oh, they're not allowed to do that. It's part of the game, but if you're going to pass it amongst your back four and they put people up, they know you're going to take off and then go up the park, you're constantly going to get put in pressure, under pressure. So you have to move it quicker, mate.
Aye. And even trying to just play the forward ball, Diamondi was trying. There was a good thing. There was a 1-2 that Lundstrom could have played with him and had him gone right up the park, and he decided to cut it back and play it back to Suter. And it wasn't just him. There was a couple of passes. I don't think Sterling worked either out wide right.
I don't know if you heard.
Did you? No, never. He just didn't work out there at all, and you could see that wasn't happening. But Clement's got to get. I mean, we were flying when he first came in. Look at the way they were shutting down, and just no matter what players were there, the urgency was there, and they were playing at a far better tempo. Something's just no. I mean, there might be a bit of nerves for some of them. I get that, but you're going for a championship, and honestly, sitting on in there yesterday.
You should never stop you working hard.
No, that's what I'm saying. But if you were in neutral yesterday and you didn't know anything about that game and you said one of the teams has gone for the league, you'd have thought it was St Mirren because they were competing in Everton and we were just second. I mean, I think one player I seen yesterday won a tackle. Lundstrom pulled out of one, Tav pulled out of one. Everybody groaned in the stands as soon as they done it. You could just see it happening as if getting and win the ball. But we had chances to sort of get about and play passes and be quick tempo, and we didn't. We were lethargic and back to that horseshoe passing about the back. I don't know, they better get their finger out, Ox, because that performance isn't good enough. Neighbour near good enough.
Spot on, he's outside of spot on. I think the thing Sterling definitely didn't. I don't think on the tight pitches Sterling works out there, does he? When it's tight and 100 mile an hour, not good of his pace for that. I just don't think he's a natural with the ball in his back to go and whatnot. And then I think the biggest problem is, apart from one or two individuals, we lack pace throughout the spine of the team. So this team knows that they can get on top of us. If the teams run at us and run on top of us, they know they're quicker than us. And at the moment, unfortunately, they're looking stronger than us as well, which is another scary thing, really.
Linda?
I mean, this whole thing just outside saying about the lack of tempo and, you know, players just strolling about, not working hard. I mean, it's astonishing. This is a squad of players who were basically, let's face it, near enough dead and buried, weren't they, Ox, when Clement came in? We managed to get ourselves back into a position where we were in control of our own destiny, and then they've been going out the last 5 or 6 games start playing like this. I don't know, Southside. I just feel that we are trying to scratch in our heads. We're trying to find answers as to why they're playing like this just now. But as you say, there's a league title to win, and you know, I think it's disappointing.
Past match yesterday, Southside, Diamondi, Dessers for his effort and his goal. Jack Butland. After that, I'm struggling, mate.
Aye, Diamandi. He worked hard. You can see he works hard in that, and he's going to be a football player. You know, if that's like Clement's one of his signings, like that idea, then I'm all for that. Thought Lundstrom was pitiful again yesterday. Had a shot at goal and that, but get a wee bit up the park. But all square passes back the way. Just tempo's no there, urgency's no there. It looks like there's a lack of desire or something. Dessers, he worked hard. His touch wasn't great. He furled up alone. A couple of times, Ox, I seen him yesterday, and he was well slow at one point. There was a ball played up the channel, and he just rushed on and watched him, and the big Gogic ran across and took it and just scored it, and no bother in front of him. I just don't know. He just didn't look. He's before I've known. I don't know. He's not the quickest, but he does sort of look a wee bit. He looked quicker than I thought he did. That making that run. Maybe he was just tired because he'd ran about up there at that time. He worked hard to go to the goal. Fair play to him. Like he was in the right place. But honestly, everybody was saying the same thing. Where is this like a heart and desire for this team? Where's the urgency? You know, and we just didn't have it. It looked like St Mirren were more keen to get to every ball, and when they came running and shutting us down, we should be able to pass through a team like St Mirren and get up the park. And it just looked, it wasn't bad. It was bad yesterday, mate. I just don't desire heart, effort, and tempo. It was poor, and even chances.
The problem with the way we're playing is, right, so when the centre-halves get the ball, and Lundstrom comes in beside them, the full-backs move slightly forward, right? But they're still full-backs, so if you don't get it slightly right, you don't move the ball, you'll get 5 at the back. Then Diamandi's in the middle, literally in front of Lundstrom, and I've said this a few times, mate. And then you've got Cantwell, who in theory is in front of him, and it's like an eye up the pitch. So you've nobody left or right of Diamandi to pass the body. And then when the teams get the ball in the channels, mate, they're right at the top of your defence before you know it. And I've got to question the coaching and the managing, because we're doing it every week, mate. If you're watching it, I'm watching it, and there's a problem with that whole shape.
Aye, see when you mentioned it, I watched it, you could see it from behind the goal. And I know what you're saying, that in that centre circle spot, there's a big, massive hole gap. Any player can go in there and take advantage of us, because we only have Diamandi up there. When Lundstrom comes in here, and I don't know why he keeps doing it. Why is he doing it? Because that leaves that big gap. I don't know where Cantwell's meant to drop or whatever, but football's a simple game, Ox. It's pass and move. It is simple. And we don't have players that want to go and run and move at times. That's the frustrating thing when you were watching it on Sunday. Cantwell will get the ball and he'll buzz about, but other players aren't moving enough. They're not running into space and looking for it. And I don't know, there was just something yesterday, and it was just poor, mate. It was poor, but at the end of the day, we got the result. No one you can hope is they're going to get better with more tempo and urgency.
I've been telling you for weeks about this midfield up the park, mate. I've been watching it, mate, yeah? And you've seen it yourself now, eh?
Aye, I see it. But if you're going to tolerate Lundstrom in there and slow lethargic and all that, and playing an easy, simple pass across the back and just taking it off the back, then fine, but we could be dealing with somebody else in there then that wants to go on the ball and try and go forward and all, and get about and get into tackles.
He's got to be 10 to 20 yards forward, mate, but he can influence again.
He doesn't really influence again, mate, does he, really? Come on, 20 years forward, he doesn't.
We'll come back to that. We've been joined by Bob Jer. Evening, Bob Jer.
Hi, good evening, Ox. How you doing? I couldn't agree with you more. I wasn't suitably impressed yesterday either. I couldn't believe how lethargic and laboured things were. And like you say, Mr. Lundstrom, again, Rashkan's got to get a start sometime, surely. At least he can go forward and make a pass. That pace, I wasn't impressed with that yesterday. I thought we were definitely going to drop someone yesterday. Like May said, will we? But hey ho, we won. But this can't continue. And we're not going to win anything if we continue playing like this. We've got to improve. Must improve. I couldn't understand how we just played with one striker. But you can't catch Silva a striker, eh? But I don't know.
That's the way we play, mate. That's the way we play. That striker's always isolated. There's only
Cantwell that's the way he
join in. Linda, and you come, and then we'll go back to Giant, and then we'll go to Smurf.
Yeah, Ox, you're right. I mean, the thing about the one striker, Bob Jer, is we need width, and we need wingers to get up and support, and we need players with pace. And you look at Sterling, and it's no, he's, you know, I think we're all in agreement that Sterling isn't that wide right player. But you've also got Silva on the other side, Bob Jer, who's not really contributing anything. So Dessers is isolated, and I know Southside said he had some poor touches, and you get the ball taken off him a few times in terms of when it's played down the channel. But I thought he did okay, and few bits of quality actually came from him. The goal he got, and also, you know, the ball that he played through to Lawrence, and Lawrence has to score that. But I agree with you, Bob, Ger. They look lethargic, and it's quite bad that they're playing like that at this so crucial time of the season, Bob, Ger, when there's a league there to be won.
Must improve, Linda.
Yeah.
That's it. If we're going to win this league or win this cup, it's got to improve. Simple as, must improve. How he improves it, I don't know, but we'll see in the coming weeks.
Listen, if we'd have won all the other games and put that performance on, Bob Cher, and got that result, we wouldn't have been bothered. But you're getting more critical of the performances because we put ourselves under pressure.
Always do. I've never seen a club that gets put under pressure like Rangers. Anyway, I'll let you carry on with the rest of the guys,
All right. Smurf, when you come, and then I've got a question for Southside. On you go, Smurf.
You're right. What you're saying is that the midfield is very linear, and it's supposed to be a 4-2-3-1 formation. And you know, when he came in, because of the players at his disposal, that's what he opted for. But I think we've been found out with that now. People have worked us out. There's a lack of pace in the squad, let alone the team. And I think, I don't know if it's too late in the season to start to try and implement it, but I'd like to see an extra man in that midfield. I'd like to see us go to a 4-3-3. I think that would help us out. But yeah, something's got to give. I mean,
he's no changing it now, mate. You're stuck with that.
No, I know he's no, but we're outmatched in midfield in most games. You know, their teams are sometimes putting 5 in midfield if you include the wide players. You know, and you've got this linear approach, as you say, and it ends up with Cantwell. People get frustrated with Cantwell because he gets isolated. So what happens is he then drops and he end up running about in his own half like doing a heat, getting frustrated, flying into daft tackles and getting booked. And then that leaves Big Dessers up on his own. He gets isolated. The whole thing, the wheels come off the whole thing, you know. So it needs to be looked at. And I think hopefully next year our managers, with his own personnel, has got the ability to be a bit more flexible in how he lines up.
Yeah, I think the idea
you should be able to change it. You should be able to change it mid-game. Something's not working. We'll revert to this.
The only time I think, from the top of my head, Southside, that he's altered tactics was when we played in away at Benfica, when he's played a sort of 4-4-1-1. With Lawrence, and then when we were out of possession, we went to a 4-5-1. And Lawrence was the guy that was joining in, and Sterling was right, and Big Silva, arguably had his best game in a blue jersey. He gave us everything he had. Everybody said, this boy, at least he's got an attitude. He's not kicked a ball since then. And, you know, Diamandi and Lundstrom were good in the middle because it was a 4 going up and down. Yeah. But the way we're playing, there's no options. And then, as Smurf pointed out, teams have worked them out.
Aye, they might have worked us out to a point. As long as we keep moving the ball about and that, it should work. But they probably have to a point. I just think teams are getting in our faces and try to just get in tappies, and we're just not moving the ball quick enough. But we're not creating chances. We weren't really creating much on Sunday. I know again. We can have possession of the ball at times. It just seemed to go, when we moved it from middle to front, it just seemed to collapse after that. If it went to Silver, if it went to Sterling, if it went to Dessers, there was no end product in the first half until that mistake happened that got us a goal. And where we were scoring, I thought Dessers had scored that.
JM, you made an interesting point off there that in the last 3 league games, it was a penalty kick and an own goal at Ross County. No goals at the day, and then an own goal and a defensive assist. Well, Farley scored a goal for open play.
Scored a goal from an open player or a good. Obviously, like the Des one take away, but up until that half time, it was another own goal, wasn't it? It still wasn't even our player that put the ball in the net in an away game, apart from a penalty from Tav. Quite frightening, really. And what Southside's saying spot on in regards to that, not making many chances either. It's not like we're battering them. Like these goals and that, these half chances are pretty much all we're making, which is scary. You know, we're not peppering the goal. So I don't know. I do agree with what Bob Joe was saying there as well. It's hard for Dessers up top because sometimes he's playing against free. There's a lot that can be changed, isn't there? I think, unfortunately, there's a lot that we're spotting.
But if your theory's sound, mate, if Dessers is playing against 3, yeah, that makes it 10 against 7 in the rest of the park.
Yeah, but not when, like you say, when Luncham becomes
9 against 7. 9 against 7 the rest of the park, take the 2 goalies out.
Luncham goes stands between the 2 centre backs. Both wingers just go stand straight against their 2 full-backs. And then Cantwell.
The problem, mate. There's no movement up front.
Well,
the
it's the shape, and I thought the shape, the most telling about the shape and the lack of ideas for me wasn't even a Dundee game, to be honest. It was the last 10 minutes against Ross County when I thought we had no shape whatsoever. We had no wide then. We had Matonda in the middle trying to win headers. Where's your coaching staff telling him just to stay on the left wing? You know what I mean? Like that's what scared. That's what got me scared. That's what got me scared. But that was my first sort of warning about the lack of shape.
Yeah. Is it because he's not got the personnel he wants? The players playing, is he limited? Is that not his first choice, or is it Redfern and Seamer? You know, these guys, if we don't realise that.
I think if we had a fit squad of players, I think it would be players playing that aren't playing in that team. And I think maybe the style of football, pace-wise, and that we don't have that sort of pace throughout the team. Matondo's no offered anything in the time we've had him. You've seen wee bits and flashes. John Lundstrom plays good for 8 weeks here a season, and then drops off, and then comes good again for a couple of weeks, and the same. Inconsistent. Tav and Golston have been there long enough and putting in performances. The squad's just, we know it needed refreshed, and it got refreshed under a different manager. And some signings have worked and others haven't. And maybe Lammers is working elsewhere at the moment and seems to be doing all right. And if we can get money back in that, we might recoup it. I don't see anything like that coming back. Just feel like this squad of players, we've had some back for injury. They're not playing regular enough, and I don't know what he's doing. He's struggling a wee bit with maybe his forward line. Dessers is going to be the 9. It's a guy who scored 20 goals in competition, all comps. So it's getting a winger on the left and somebody on the right that's going to create, score, or do something. And at the moment, they two have been playing out there on the creating anything.
Put you on the spot, mate.
Who do we put out there? Maybe no play with any of the 2 wingers, and maybe try. You don't want to change too much, but if you have to see, like Lundstrom's playing because he's no option, right? He's a go-to guy, and he's sticking with him now. But if somebody was in there that could compete and take his place, he would be out surely. But I would maybe try, if we don't play a winger, just go with Dill, Cantwell, and Lawrence as a 3 with Dessers, and just stick with the 2 in behind and use A3 and get Tav to noon again, maybe go down the full back route, or one of them can move it slightly to the right if it was a Tom Lawrence. No all the time, but play the A3 and just go through teams through the middle. Don't bother going down the wings to cross balls out, because we don't have a guy in the box who can header a ball in the net. So there's no point in doing that. Try and get them on the ball and get them running at teams. And maybe we have to try that way. No, I think Fox mentioned before and all that idea. That might just... Silva done nothing anyway.
Have Dill and Lawrence done enough when they've been playing?
Probably no, Ox, but half of them on that team aren't doing enough to merit a jersey if you looked at it for it. No, so something's got to change.
We're looking for this group of players to win us the next 5 games to hopefully take us where we want to be, mate. And something you have to get this confidence. Linda, how do we get this confidence up? Bob Jed, you can come in next.
I don't know if it's confidence, as we said earlier. I know Smurth said that they seem to lack confidence. Don't know where that came from. As I said, the great run of games that we put together after the winter break. I wonder if it's just its ability as well, and it's maybe, you know, we're not overly convinced about some of them, and I think we've been proved right. You know, what does he do? Because, you know, we're not getting Seema back, I don't think. I think he made a big difference, even from what we saw of him when he came back from the injury. We've got Dessers, who I know he's not everybody's favourite player, Ox, but he's been the one consistent centre forward that's been available for all the games and all the minutes. He's had to carry that load himself. I don't know, Ox. I'm not sure they can get us over the line, but they're, you know, I just would like to see them, as Southside said earlier, playing with a bit more urgency and at least outwork their opposition.
Yeah.
And
you come, Bob.
You're spot on there, Linda. What you say. So the crux of the matter is, if you're an opposition manager, do you say to your boys in the dressing room, right, keep the tabs on Dissers and you can beat them? Because he seems to be the only one that's doing the business, as they say. It's scoring. And you forget, we've all criticised the big man in recent weeks, but 20 goals he scored, and that's not a bad return. So has it got to the point where we just close down Dessers and you can beat them? Well, I don't know if it's as simple as that. I just didn't understand, like I said 5 minutes ago, I don't understand where this lethargy's coming from. Didn't understand where this I don't know.
You wouldn't think that is near enough the same group of players that played against Hearts a few weeks ago, Smurth.
No, that's what I mean. That's what I mean. I mean, they were excellent that day. They were brilliant. I thought, hey, we've got a real chance of winning this league. We were excellent today.
But
they still have
Bob Chair.
Oh, they still have. Aye. Whoa. Nobody, for all the analysis we're getting and all the criticism, nobody's given up on anything.
No,
I'm quite sure you aren't giving up. Absolutely no. Because I'll tell you the news. I didn't care about any of the rest days. I sat and I watched them yesterday, and they're no any better than what we are. So we can do this. We can do it.
Smurf, when you come, mate.
So I think if the gaffers come in, I think there's been, a 5-point swing? I think it was an 8-point swing where, you know, I think we're only 3 points behind. I think we were 8 points behind at one point. So clearly, it's not been an ability issue. You look at the performance away to Benfica, a game we should have won. You know, that was, for me, the best performance of the season. And players hitting good levels. So it's only conjecture, but I do feel that when we get to the nitty-gritty, the business end of the season, when we've jockeyed ourselves into a position where we can get this running right and win a league, I think we've got, as I've said before, there's a leadership group, there's 2 or 3 players that have been there a long time, who are senior pros at that club, and whose bottles maybe crash. And I can't help but think that.
I don't think you're alone in that, Smurf. I don't think you're alone.
And so for all your assists and penalty kicks, at the end of the day, while it matters, silverware. That's all that matters. And I think there's an element of that. And you also don't know what conversations have been had. You know, have certain players been told they're not getting contracts, or they're not getting what they want, so they don't care anymore, or they're despondent because they do care. As certain people have been told they're surplus to requirements. You just don't know. So there's the stuff that you don't know, and there's the stuff that you do know. And what we do know is the levels that they can reach. They can put performances in against teams like Benfica away, and then you're getting, you know, what you're left with. You're left with the performance against Ross County. I mean, it's a joke, innit? So So ultimately, win, lose or draw, if we go and do the treble this season, I still think the place needs a vast broom taint here.
Oh, I don't think that'll change anything because you want a continuous improvement. Look, we're not saying that we're not behind the team, Southside. I don't think you make that point. You're only critiquing what you're watching, big man.
Listen, everybody was there at the game on Sunday is all behind the team. Everybody on this show and everybody out there that's a Rangers supporter are behind the team. No, all I'm saying is we're looking off for them. We're lack of creating chances. We got lucky with the goalkeeper making 2 errors because we looked poor on Sunday, and it has to change. These players have to get their act together, and we need to start putting in a performance. And if you're not playing well, at least put in the effort, chase down Harry, go and win balls, compete. Just looked like we were a bit second best on Sunday, but we got the job done. But the performances, you can't keep getting away with this. You'll not get away with it. So they have to. It has to change.
The best man in the park yesterday was the guy Govic for them.
Aye, I know. And listen, the big man's full of heart and fight and desire. And he's done it through, not just there. He done it when he was at Hamilton Accies, and he done it when he was at Hibs. Right? He's one of the type of players. He just reminded me something along the lines of, he's no outstanding, but he does a job. Like Marvin Andrews, when we got him, he wasn't outstanding, but he done a job. You know? And that's what he done for St Mirren yesterday. He put the effort application in and he get stuck in about us, like a lot of the players did. Like Dundee players did the week before, and Ross County. So we've got to get the attitude. They've got to start getting up for the fight. But we've got to try and get the ball forward quicker and create chances. And that's all. And then we can maybe start to... Ox, when was the last time we had a good 90-minute performance? Or even a 60-minute performance?
Hearts. And the league at Ibrox.
Mm-hmm. But apart from that, we've either been bad one half, we've been all right second, or we've had a good first and a rotten second. And it's been always disjointed in that. You need to get... You'll probably need to knuckle down a back 4 going into the run-in. I think Golson, if I was honest, my opinion, I think he'll come back next week. And I think he'll just need to go with whatever he picks to the defence. We can't keep chopping and changing that either. Whoever's got fit, they need to start.
I didn't think the 2 centre-halves were great yesterday, mate.
No. But they done a job, and Balogun done pretty well. He retrieved his celery to death because I thought that boy was well away. But at the end of the day, we got the result right, and it's all right if you're winning trophies all the time and that. But now we just look like we're struggling. So we need to get our mojo back. The players need to get their mojo back and start to fight more. And let's try and play a bit of football, because Kilmarnock will come and they'll come and have a go. Guarantee you that. He'll come and have a go. Which might help us. I don't know that will hinder us, won't it? Don't know.
Giant.
Yeah, it's about not being... We accept maybe our players, we've been left with some players up, maybe not at our standard, but the players should be far better than what's already in Scotland. So we just can't go through these last 4 or 5 games to be out for. Leave everything out there, and hopefully the bit of confidence and the quality shines through. But we can't start games like we're starting them. Defenders making mistakes and giving these teams a sniff before we start. We need to be controlling games. I mean, that's nearly every game we played that a team's had a chance in the first minute. We could be 1-0 down in the first minute, and in one game it was 25 seconds. We need to start by maybe cutting that out, and then maybe the confidence might come into the game.
It's the last 4 league.
Yeah, because obviously, the game at Hampden, that was a cup game, wasn't it? So you're right. Obviously, the goal within 23 seconds, and then Ross County, Dundee, and then that game just there within a first minute. Could have been a goal down, all from mistakes and not controlling the game. I mean, that's a team not coming out with the right attitude, isn't it? For that to happen 4 times.
Yeah. And by the way, you've got to question what's happening if that's what you're saying. Linda, and then we'll go back to Bob.
Yeah, I know, JM. That is, you just wonder what are they saying before they go out onto the pitch. They must be saying, keep it tight, don't make any mistakes, because we've been making mistakes. And what happens when they critique the game themselves, when they look back at the game with the manager? I don't know. I don't know if it's a lack of concentration. Again, it's just not being sharp. It's not been ready to go. This lethargy we've talked about, but basic errors as well. Just clear your lines. There's nothing wrong with booting it out the park if you need to do that. But you're right. I mean, the chances and the goals that we've conceded over the last few weeks, it's just not good enough.
It's at both ends, because we've looked at it. We've hardly scored a goal for open play. Object penalties, own goals, assisted, as Southside said, 2 goals, keeping errors yesterday. So we're making mistakes at the defence end, and we're not creating at the business end. And it's not a good combination. Object.
Oh, it's true what you're saying. I mean, the minuses are we're not playing well, we're not creating chances. Game after game, we're looking like we can lose a goal in the first 30 seconds, and it's happened several times. I don't need to tell you when. You all know that. That's the minuses. We've covered it all the night. Jack Butland got you the points yesterday, by the way, when you think about it. But the pluses are we're up there proverbial for a league, and it can be done if we click into form, get a bit of form going, like we all want, start to score a few goals. We can do this. Definitely. In recent seasons, the league was well over Binu, but it's no this time. It's a contest this time, and they didn't like it. And let's make it a real contest. And the cup, it's 90 minutes. We can do it. We can go for it. So it's no all doom and gloom. So come on, Rangers, pick yourself up, get playing, and we can do this. We can. That's a positive note on it. That's what we've all got to have. Sure you all agree with me.
Aye, we can do it. We can do it. Smurf.
100%. It's you've got to win every game. It's doable. We're not playing in English Premiership, let's face it. So absolutely we can win every game, and going to take big performances, big character, sort of Jock Wallace sort of approach to things, especially when we go over to that place and play, and they're more than capable of dropping points. They've got to go to Rugby Park. They've got to play Hearts. I think, in all honesty, I think that we don't win the league this season, but it's only because we've thrown it away. It's not over by a long shot, and I think it's certainly what we do is in our own hands. We're capable of beating them in their own midden and every other team that's in front of us. Absolutely. I'm talking about the cup final as well. So it's in our own hands. It's a case of guys stepping up and showing a bit of character and a bit of desire, upping the tempo, maybe even being more direct, and there's no reason why we can't do the treble this year. Absolutely not. That's the frustrating thing about it.
We're all frustrated because if you go back to you look at the run of games, Linda, you look at the Betis performance, you look at the Benfica performance away, and even at home where we controlled large parts of the game and played some decent stuff. We get caught on a counter with a crazy tactic at a corner kick. I don't know who came up with that one, but anyway, that's questionable as well. But the actual performance against the decent side was all right. And then we shoot ourselves in the foot. We go 2-0 against that mob, and we show great resolve and fight back twice after getting away, a penalty kick, a fluke goal, and then we're still celebrating. We let them go up the park and make it 3-2. We fought back twice, and since then, the performance has obviously been great. There's something just missing, and I can't put a finger on it, Linda.
Yeah, and I think the as the guys have said, we're still in a title race, and apart from when we won 55s, in the last 3, 4, 5 seasons, even if you think about when Gerrard came in after that, we weren't really in it with 4 games to go, Ox. But this time we are. But I think the doubt that we've got and the slight negativity is because we're only critiquing the games that we're watching. In the last few performances, 4 or 5 performances, they've not been good enough. So that's what's making us doubt whether this team can perhaps get over the line, although we are behind them. I don't know, Ox. We've tried to say, is it confidence? Is it, just not performing well? But we've just got to hope that they can pick up their form, because as we said earlier, Ox, I think what he's got available to him, there's a chance maybe. We were told that Ridvan's going to be back in training this week. So is Ryan Jack as well. Don't know about Matondo, but as I say, he's going to probably have to go with the same group of players, Ox. But they're playing at home against Killie on Sunday. Hopefully we can get a good performance, and then it might even give us a bit more confidence in them, I think.
Southside, when you're in the stand behind the goal yesterday, what was the obviously frustration, but with the question, and there's no lot on the bench to change that side, mate. Let's be honest.
I know. Everybody I spoke to at half time, all the usual faces that go to the games and that, and boys, and listening to other people I didn't know sort of talking. Everybody was like, how are we going to score in this second half? We'll need to come out and start well. No urgency, lack of effort. We look poor. Everybody said the same thing. We're poor. We're rotten. We're poor out there today. No, we can still win this league. Of course we can. We're well in it. That's not the issue. And if this team can just keep winning, then they'll probably win the league. That's the thing. But just saying, urgency and levels. I'll tell you something, right, Ox? See when St Mirren scored yesterday, right? And I know if you're watching it on the telly, you're not going to get to see much. I'll ask you, what one Rangers player, made a gesture to 2 or 3 of the rest of the players as if he moved his hands to say, come on, let's lift us. What player do you think out in that park done that yesterday when St Mirren scored?
Monday.
No. A guy that's leaving our club at the end of the season who gets slaughtered on this show for people, correct? Borna turned round and gestured to the defence and that, and players moving his arms, come on, lift us. One player. Then I said to the boys I was standing next to, look at the rest of the players out there when they're walking back to that halfway line. Not one of them even said anything to anybody else. Not one. Including our captain. And they're all walking back to that halfway line with their heads down. And I'm looking at it going, you're talking about players with character, players with desire, a bit of heart. But do you think any of us would be standing there just walking back up with your head down? You'd be telling players, Borna Barisic, a guy that's leaving us, is a guy who gestured to the rest of them to lift it. No, is that not a sad indictment as players? If Borna's the guy that's leaving.
We'll leave it on that note, and I'm sure we'll better talk about as the week goes on. And we need to stuck a wee bit because of the performances. We're still, as you said, we're still behind the team. Last word for your good self, Bob J.
Aye, I couldn't agree more. Negative, no playing well. Positive, we're still in the 2 tournaments with a big shout. All I need is somebody to start a match and get it going. Thanks for having me tonight. Great show as usual.
Cheers, Bob J. Smurf.
Aye, absolutely, we can do it, but it's down to the players show a bit of character and a bit of fight and represent our fans and our club appropriately. But good night and thanks for having me on.
Yes, Southside, the Super 6 champion.
Aye, no, listen, this phoned in a wee bit money this last week, but no, just onwards and upwards, as we say. We go to 3 points, and hopefully Sunday we'll get another 3 points, and hopefully we'll entertain the support for a change.
Can you take a ticket and have a lie in the black couch in the changing room there so you can speak to somebody?
What's that?
Can you take a ticket and then you can take your turn lying in the black couch and speak to somebody?
I've just been going to my bed early in the afternoons. That's solved that problem, mate.
Last word for your good self, JM.
Yeah, no, good critique tonight. Good callers, everyone, and we're definitely still in this. I think everyone's just frustrated and just want to see a bit of desire, but definitely still in all these competitions. So bring it on.
Wonder.
Yeah, good show tonight, Ox. We just care so much about our team, and I hope we can play a bit better at the weekend and give us a bit more confidence. So, but still, at the end of the day, Ox, 3 points is all we want. Good being on with JM and your good self.
Cheers, Linda. Thanks to Smurf who joined us, Bob J, and of course the one and only Southside. Thanks to JM and Linda for doing the show. Fox and Old School Blue for doing the technicals. Special shout out for Fox for that classic tune this evening. Thanks for listening. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, and I'm sure we'll be debating some of the same things. Thanks for listening. Take it away, Old School Blue.